having a guest tonight. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Grim Report. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Grim Report. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm not sure how many people are here, so I'm just going to go in here and see if I got any viewers. Hopefully, I do. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I know there's a delay. I'm very aware of the delay. I hope there's a couple of people here because I do have a guest tonight. I bet you're wondering who that guest is. You'll have to pardon my thing. Hey, Duck. Hey, Jen. Long time no see, Jen. I know there's a delay in this, so if you hear that twice, then you know I know it's a delay. I will be having a guest tonight, and the next time you see me, I will have a guest telling a story. Tonight, we're just going to be talking about cryptids. Yes, cryptids. Why are we going to be talking about cryptids? Well, because that's what I do. This is the first live show in a long time. And I know it. The person we'll be having tonight is a guest that is actually my co host. We know who he is, but for those who don't, he will be introducing himself as soon as he gets on. Now, there are some questions that I guess you're wondering, why have I started doing a live show again? Why have I been doing a live show? Why did I start again? Well, that is because my co host is back. And I don't like speaking by myself. And hopefully he'll join me soon because I'm not much for talking. Anybody have any questions? I have to pardon the lag. For some reason, my internet does not want to keep up with me. Can y'all hear me fine? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Okay, good. Checking the delay. There's a delay. Some reason it's not wanting to stick with me. Okay, so anybody got any questions they want to ask me? Ask away. Could be on anything I covered this month, or this week, or last month. Anything, guys. Duck, I know you have a few questions on next month. You can ask them, and I could answer a few of them. Okay, Jim. That's fine. Any questions that you have, Duck, name them. And yes, I will answer them to the best of my ability without revealing anything about next month. Because you know I'm not going to say anything about next month. But I know, have a feeling the question or two you're going to ask. Like I said, I'm just killing time until my co-host gets here. You know? Let me send him one more. Okay, so no questions. Well, okay, what I'm going to cover next month is Oregon. There are a few choice ones that I've picked, but one I picked because I thought it was not the
Really?
best. It wasn't the best one I wanted. Hey, D, what's
Oh,
up?
man, I'm sorry to interrupt you, dude. You don't even understand the hell I had trying to get in, but I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right. Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you.
You there?
Yeah.
All right. There's going to be a bit of delay.
All right. How long of a delay you think we got?
Okay. We got right now. They can hear. They can see your face, man.
That's cool. I'm good with
Now
that.
that you're back to where your thing.
I'm all right with that. I'm
All
still
right.
trying to figure
Cool.
this thing out, man. You know how it is.
Oh, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with
Uh,
that. My camera is
Whoa,
kind of
what
like
just happened?
wonky right now. So
Can you see me?
what?
Can you see me?
Hold on.
You should be able to see
No,
me.
I can't see you now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it cuts in and out.
Ah, crap. Anyway, hi
Oh
everybody.
no, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I'm so sorry for being late and interrupting. Me and Grim, I told him we'd been kind of talking for about what would you say, Grim, the last 4 hours?
I would say about 3.5, 3.5, because yeah.
Yeah, we've been kind of going back and forth because I was like, we should go live tonight, and he was like, I don't know, and I'm like, well, let's do it. So I was really hopeful that I was going to have this guest, and this guest is so good, guys. I'm telling y'all. I've known this guy for years and years and years and years and years, over 20 years, and he's going through kidney cancer. And he told me, he said, no, there were two other people that went through this with me, or three other people. And I believe the third person that went through this with them has since passed. And my friend is going through kidney cancer, and I would appreciate any and all well wishes, healing thoughts, anything you guys can put out. It would be so appreciated. He's important to me, as what your brother is to you. Okay, I mean that's what he means to me. Wonderful, wonderful man. You got three little girls. I mean, and he works hard. He ain't no sponge off society. Dude works hard.
Yeah.
But long and the short of it
Okay,
is,
I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna ask them if they can hear you. Can you hear him? Okay. He's still getting used to his phone. One for yes, two for no.
how many do we got with us tonight?
We have three.
All right, I got a feeling one of
Yeah.
them's a buddy of mine, but that's all right.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, I mean, we usually have like
you know how
two
it is, dude.
anyway.
They
So
they come in as we go.
yeah.
Um, can you see me yet?
All right, they can hear you.
Can you guys see
No,
me?
no, no, no.
Shit.
I probably can, but they can't. They're looking at me, my face right now.
Oh, poor bastards.
They're looking at my face right now, D.
No, but
Yeah, I know. Poor people. They see
but
my ugly mug every day.
but back to the story though, real quick. There was three of them involved, four of them involved. I'm sorry, I know I said three, but it was four because it was this guy, my buddy, his brother, and another person and another friend, and they went out and they were camping here in Missouri on the Merrimack River, and they had something come in and mess with them. And this thing, it took the tent down. It was starting to get really vicious. And I told Grim, I was like, I really think you need to talk to this guy because not only do I believe him, but there were other people that were there.
Donkey, continue
And so,
talking. Continue talking. I gotta put my get my laptop cord so I can charge my laptop. Continue talking. Okay.
oh, right on, man. But there were some witnesses there that they had invaluable information, like invaluable information. And the crazy thing was, guys, is that they all had verbatim the exact story. And I questioned them all individually and together. And there were no new details that anybody forgotten. There was nothing like that. I mean, like this was a solid all the way around the box story. And the thing was, and this is the crazy thing, it happened to these guys two times in the same spot. And the last time, whatever this thing was, literally followed them home and was messing with them at home. Um, and it's really a crazy, 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 crazy story. Um, and I got to tell you, the first time I heard it, it was about 10 years ago, and we were doing a road trip, and I heard the story, and I kind of like laughed it off. This is before I had my encounters, and I'm like, yeah, man, maybe you guys were like, like smoking too much doobage or something, and they're like, no, man, um, there were no beers involved, there was no weed involved, like we were all sober. That's when I started, okay, going, all right, man, maybe there's a little validity to this. Because I mean, when you're kids and you're stoned, you can kind of hear sometimes, if you're like new to smoking that shit and all that, you can kind of hear, some things that ain't there. I know people that like when they've smoked, they've heard their name called and they're like, what? And there's nobody there. But the fact that their story remains the same verbatim all the way around the box. Um, and if it wasn't for the fact that my buddy that's got kidney cancer has to be at the hospital for treatment tomorrow, and Grim can verify this because he was on the phone. They would do the show tonight. They would
Yeah.
absolutely be on the show tonight.
But
Um,
the thing is, guys, I'm gonna let this loose. Is it cool? Can I do it?
can you what?
Can I tell them?
Yeah, go ahead.
They're going to be on the show. We don't know when. They're gonna let us know. He's gonna let
In the
D
next month.
know
In the
in the
next
next
month.
month.
But hey,
And
now Grimmy,
I'm like
Grimmy,
ecstatic
Grimmy,
about it.
you got to be fair because we built them up, and now they think we don't got shit for them tonight. And you got to tell them, dude, that this is a round table, man. This is a free for all. If you've got something, had an encounter, and I don't care if it's that Scott fella from North Carolina wrestling with his wiener. If you've had an encounter with something strange and unknown, holler at us.
Yeah, we're full court press, guys. If you got something and you want to talk about it, and you haven't told anybody else, because we don't want DDoS or anybody else, Dark Waters or whatever. You guys know them. I'm only saying them because I know them.
Well, hell,
Saying,
if
"Oh,
they're
that's my story."
if they're listening, man, tell them to call in. Are you kidding me? I mean, Dark Waters, that would be a freaking awesome guest.
I doubt he's
No,
watching anymore, man.
well, I'm just
You
saying,
know that
I
thing
mean,
that I
if you're
have.
watching, call in, man, call in. Give us
Yeah.
your encounters.
Well, we'll get you in the chat.
But now,
I'll
hey,
even put the
crazy
link
thing.
up for you.
Now, Grim, this is a crazy thing, and I'm sure we've all heard about it. A few months back, a little feller about 3, 4 years old, he went missing out in North Carolina, and a bear took care of him in the harsh winter. Now,
Huh.
my wife happens to be from North Carolina, and she told me where this little feller went missing from, it would almost be impossible unless you had thermal gear to survive it. And you got this feller, 3, 4 years old, and he's out there in a t-shirt. Oh, I apologize. I'm getting messages apparently. Hold on a minute, man.
Yeah, he
Oh,
said he'd text you his number, didn't he?
well, not only that, but he's kind of giving me bits more of the encounter. And he said
Mm-hmm.
that he said we could read it on air, but in all honesty, I don't want to do
Rather
that.
hear him tell it.
I would. I mean, this guy, when he tells a story, guys, he just takes you there. I mean, I just can't explain it. And that's how you know a bullshitter from, somebody that's actually giving you a real true account is, a bullshitter can't really take you there. You know, somebody that's going through
Mm-mm.
the emotions and going back through what they felt and what they seen and what they smelt and felt and dealt with. You know, that's what you can depend on right there. Um, so I mean, I'm not trying to, I want y'all to hear this encounter,
We want you to
but
hear it from the man himself, because
and we and
he,
we want to and we want to present it to y'all right.
yeah, because we're gonna not have just two people telling it. We're gonna have three people who
Yeah, we're gonna have
actually,
everybody that was there minus the fourth person because God rest his soul, he's no longer with us.
yeah.
So we uh we do have some big things, but I'm gonna tell you this story, this encounter here. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be about 2 hours. So
It's no joke, guys. It's no joke. He actually
yeah,
told us that it was gonna be 2 hours,
um,
and
and
I'm for it if you guys want to hang in for that when we
and
get
I
him on the
told
air.
and Grim even heard me tell him we're not gonna let anybody make fun of you. We'll close the chat off. And he goes, no, I don't want the chat closed off. I want the questions. Even if I can't answer those questions, I want the questions because if the shoe was on the other foot and I was hearing somebody tell me this story, I'd have a gob of questions. So I want people to be able to ask their questions. And I'm telling you, folks, I mean, you got to respect that. I mean, you you really do. That dude, that is
Now these
in my mind.
encounters,
And what you got to remember too, Grim. And I'm sorry to cut you short. I don't mean to. Um,
it's fun.
but what you got to remember is that that's one of the reasons I believe this guy is because he's welcoming the questions. Now, to all the quote unquote experts and armchair researchers, and Grim, just so you know, I really consider myself an armchair researcher because you have an encounter with one of these bad boys. I'm telling you what, man,
You
that's
know,
where you're gonna want to test the armchair. Trust me.
pardon me, but from the evidence that you showed me, you're not an armchair researcher. You actually
That
been
was
on the field and
purely
you've
by
actually
accident,
seen
my
one.
boy. That was
It does
purely by
not
accident.
matter, man. That makes you actually a physical. You've seen one. Now I'm going to tell you this right now. This man has sent me text messages of the Bigfoot footprints that he's seen, and he even measured. He even put his foot in one of them. Was it
Well,
yours or was it
it was actually
Tyra?
me and my wife. My foot was at the bottom and her foot was at the top. And what would you
And
say,
this
Grim? That was about
foot
a 22 and a half inch
was,
spread.
yeah. This foot was bigger than than all four of their feet combined.
Yeah,
Bigger than that.
that's a big boy, and we'll talk more about that in a little while because I was telling you about that guy up the road there that was telling me about his father-in-law. Remember?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so my thing is, man, is you know if you listen to things now, you get a lot of those dog face booger things, and you hear people talking about them, and when you look at it, man, those dog face bookers, dude, they're not even Sasquatch related.
No, they're not.
um, and and there's a few differences, and that's one of the things I wanted to ask you, man. I mean, me and you never really had this conversation, but dude, what do you really think a Sasquatch is? I mean, like, in your words, I mean, do you think it's like a man bear, bear man, monkey man? I mean, like, what do you think it is?
No, I mean, seriously, to be all honest, now, there have been speculation, now, lots of speculation that Bigfoot may be, now, may be the missing link between man and ape. That's speculation. To me, I just think it's a whole new species, but I also think, in my opinion, it's an upright walking primate. If you see what I'm saying. Now I know there's people that will disagree, and there's some people that will agree with me. But from what I've seen, it walks right upright like a human. There are very few apes, chimps, whatever that can do that. They walk mostly. If you take a gorilla, for instance, it walks on its knuckles like this. They do this. This is how they walk. They walk on their finger
Their
knuckles.
knuckles.
You know the words that are connected to fingers. They walk on them. They do not walk on their fists. They walk on those knuckles, kind of like a
Now, hey, Grim, not to cut you
yeah,
off, but let me just say that if you've ever looked at the Patterson Gimlin film of a
yeah,
Bigfoot and you hear about how their arms swing when they walk, now if you look at that
yeah.
Patterson Gimlin film, now this is just food for all you, food for thought, y'all. You know, I ain't no genius here. And Scott, North Carolina, he can testify to that. He knew my second wife. However, but if you watch that Patterson Gimlin film, okay, what you're going to see is a knuckle strike, not a hand like the hands out. You're going to notice that the fingers are bent in, and
hmm
so that way, if it has to get down on all fours, because, and that's one of the things, Grim, that we hear about. We hear about them like when they got to get out of somewhere in a hurry, man, they drop to all fours. You know, and they're like a gorilla just pushing that. It's like they are literally kicking the ground out from underneath them. You know, so if you
yeah,
look at that stride, dude, what I think that stride is, in all honesty, and that I know of, I'm the first person to say this. And you know, I really kind of hope I'm not stepping on anybody's wiener here, because you know a lot of these guys are my heroes, and you know, and I learn from them, and I learn from you and everybody else. But you know what I'm saying though is what I believe that stride is about is that it keeps in step with the legs for the fact in case it has to bust out and drop down, so that way the arms are already caught up with the legs. So when it drops, it's already, you know, just knuckling out. You know what I'm saying? Just dead run.
yeah.
I might
Now,
be
for
crazy, but
what?
I,
No, you're right, man. I think that could be part of it. If you think about it, though, man, I mean, there's a lot of been things about Bigfoot going from tree to tree. No,
yeah, like swinging themselves, like catapulting from tree to tree, like you know, pulling themselves off one and grabbing the other one. Right? I know what you're saying.
but here's the thing: is that Duck just posted something in chat. He said, "So does Bigfoot about the knuckle thing. You know, at times it seemed
Hey,
to
I
walk
apologize,
on
Grim.
its."
I apologize. Could you reread that question? I missed it.
Okay, it's not a question. It's what Rapture said. He said ruptured. Sorry, ruptured. So about the when we were talking about the gorilla thing, like I said, there's a delay. He said, so does Bigfoot. At times, it is seen walking on their knuckles, kind of like a gorilla. So the thing is that could Bigfoot be a version of a chimp and a gorilla?
You know, man.
Could it be the actual missing link? Because I mean, it swings from trees and it runs on all fours like a gorilla. And those
Well,
things are
see,
fast.
Grim.
Gorillas can hit and gone.
The thing is, man, you know, me and you've had a lot of really in-depth conversations, and I've told you some really unbelievable things, and you've been like, dude, there's no way. And you know, and I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I've backed them up. You know, I've backed them up, and you know that. Um, Now I'm gonna give the audience just a little piece about me. Um, my grandpa is a Native American, full blooded. He was kicked off a reservation because he fell in love and married a white woman. And back in these days, all right, that was how it was. If you're gonna live among the white man, you're a white man. That is really how it was. And I don't want anybody to think for 1 minute the Native Americans are racist. Okay, they are not. You've got to understand something. They had all this land. They had all these beautiful places. What did And again, this is not racist because I'm half and half, baby. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
but you got to remember, man, they had all these beautiful, holy places that were sacred. And then all of a sudden, man, you got Paleface come riding in saying, yeah, we're going to build houses here, railway here. Screw them, boot them off. We'll give them a check after we kill half their people. And that in all honesty, I mean, that sounds a little harsh to put it like that, but that's how it was. I mean, that's not even the Pooper's Digest. I mean, you know, that's the reality of a short history, is what that is, and a sad one. Um, because what ended up happening out of all that is that you got natives that hold lands. And when I say lands, I'm not saying like mispronouncing something. I mean like lands, because you have to understand that the rivers separated the states, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, those are different lands. You know what I mean? Um,
Exactly.
and so what happens is you start pushing these cryptids that have these billions, trillions, if not zillions of acres to run and hide, establish their territory, their family units, their clans. You've got Paleface pushing it. That's shortening everybody's territory. Yeah, I hope
That
y'all
is
are
true.
still with me. I mean, I hope I'm making sense here. But this is how you got to look at it. So, if there's one thing that you can always count on expanding, is the human population and housing. Because as we expand, well, we've got to have places to live. And and you go, well, what about all these animals and everything? Well, the thing is, and what you'll hear from city developers and all that, well, there's preserves for all that.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
that's
Um,
what you'll hear them say.
I got to ask the reflex real bad. So if I pause
Huh?
for a minute, it's just me catching up. But
Okay.
the thing is, man, is that you can't tell something that's lived here for hundreds or thousands or millions or billions of years that, sorry, we're taking your home, we're taking your habitat, get the F out. I'm a little rough around the edges, Grim, you know that. I'm just trying to curb my language because I know you
Hold
got
on.
children that listen.
Hold on.
So I'm trying to be
Hold
good.
on. Hold on. Hey, D, hold up. I want to read something to you that Duck just told everybody. He
Oh
says in
Lord,
the
do I got
past,
my first hater?
no, 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 no. This is actually Duck's really good at information.
Duck, I
I've
remember
been
Duck.
trying to
Duck is
I've been
cool.
trying to get him on, but he doesn't want to be on because of the
I would
information
love to talk
he
to Duck.
knows.
Duck knows a lot. I would like to talk to
And
Duck.
he says, hold on. He says in the past 10 to 15 years, a third chimpanzee species has been discovered, and it walks upright.
Yep.
He
Yep.
thinks Bigfoot may be another undiscovered great ape, but smarter than the others. It's
I
possible. I wouldn't put it
Duck.
past
No,
it.
no, no, no. I think Duck is spot on, but I think these things are more humanized. I think they're a cross between Neanderthal and like a great ape. That's
I
kind of what I
mean,
think.
that could be it.
Oh, Ducky, I wish you would come on this show, brother. Oh my God.
He's so full of
I'm
information. I
telling you,
mean,
Grim. I wish, I honest to God, I wish Duck would just hit that button and call in. I mean, Duck knows a lot. I mean, you know it and I know it. He knows a lot. He's holding back, bro.
he knows more than we know. I will
I
guarantee
think
that.
you're right. I
Doug,
think you're
I'm just
right.
gonna put it this way, man. Is there a reason why you won't come on the show? I'm gonna put it that way. Let's let him answer. But I mean, the Native American tribes, they've had communication with them. I think they may even had trade with them. From what I keep hearing, they may have had some trade with Bigfoot, and they called that. Oh, I wanted to say they called him Tall Man of the Woods or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to say that and it
No,
butcher
hey,
anything.
if it's all right, real quick, Grim, I want to give my wife, a shout out. Jen, she, uh,
Go ahead.
she heard me having kind of acid reflux attack, and she's in the house dealing with a teething baby, and she just came out here with two tums for me. I just want to say, I've got an amazing woman. I really do. I mean, for heaven's sakes, she birthed my spawn. Heaven help her on that alone, right?
Yeah, have an helper.
Hey, baby, you want to stick
So
your
last
head in
night,
here and tell everybody hi? No, why don't you do it? The mic's right here. Go ahead. Just stick your head in there and just say hi, y'all. It's okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Addie,
Love you. No, I'm good, baby. Love you. Um,
that is one
my,
brave woman. I will give you that. That is one brave woman.
I gotta agree. And not just that, but she's a hell of a woman. She's absolutely amazing. I'm very lucky to have her, and I let her
Yep.
know that on a daily basis. Trust me. You get a woman like that, man, you don't let her go. Especially when she can
No.
make baked goods.
Oh, I got an answer from Duck. He
Yeah, what'd he
says,
say?
"I'm no public speaker. I tend to freeze up." Duck, nobody has to see your face. Nobody
Well,
sees
hell,
D's
boy, you think I'm
face.
a public speaker? You think Grim's a public speaker? Man, we're just interested. We want to know, you know what I'm saying? We want to know what the answers are. We're trying to figure this stuff out. You're like us, dude. Get your ass on the show. Call in. As a matter of fact, Grim, for 2 minutes, I'm going to be solitudely fortified because Duck won't come on the show. No, but seriously, I just need 2 minutes. Give me a second.
Okay, thank you, Jen. Thank you. She said they call him the hairy man. She thanks. Thank you,
Oh,
Jen. Thanks for
oh,
helping me out
oh,
here.
okay. My wife's in here now.
Oh yeah.
Is that my Jen?
No, no, no. This is Jen. Another Jen.
Oh, I got you. In for it.
No. Duck, you don't have to be a public speaker. I'm not a public speaker. Heck, I couldn't even
We're just
speak my
having a
way out of a
conversation, man. That's all it
paper
is.
bag. The only person they will see, Duck, is me. My ugly face. They will not see yours.
I tried to turn. I had my camera on, and I tried to fucking fix the settings, and the next thing you know, dude, I don't got a camera. I have Grim what? Talk about that later. You're gonna have to help me fix that. But
I will try my best. I will try my best
you know
to
how
do
I am
so.
with technology, brother. It don't go so good sometimes.
You'd rather throw it out the window like you did your last phone.
All right, we don't need to go into that one now, but yeah, frustration. Yeah, frustration runs high with me in technology.
We know, Jen. We know you're not his Jen. Just clarifying that.
Yeah. Because she'd probably kill me if she was my gen. She couldn't do what my gen does. Not saying that you're not a wonderful person. My wife babies me, and I'm so grateful.
Oh, thank you,
Dude, are you kidding?
Jen. I believe the
I
only
got
person.
chocolate chip strawberry cheesecake cookies sitting there. Oh, she's
Hey,
wonderful.
stop teasing me.
I
Thank
know,
you,
right?
Jen. I just I I tend to down berate myself sometimes just just for myself. It makes me not get a big head. My girlfriend says I have an ego,
You
and
have
I
an
tend to
ego?
disagree. Yeah, she says I have an ego. My girlfriend does.
Oh, uh, Evan, you know,
Hey,
dude, I've dealt with
name
people with egos before.
don't say.
You don't have an ego, bro, but I would say you're very sure in what you want to do, and that's not a bad thing, bro. That's a good thing. I mean, it's good to have those goals. But fool yourself, nah, I don't see it. But I'm not with you every day like
Uh,
he is, though.
she's only with me on Wednesdays, but
Okay, maybe,
might be pretty soon. Might be in it.
all right, maybe we do talk a bit more
I'll
than
get
that.
to
But
that.
I mean, the thing is, though, man, is that the one thing that we do share in common is the love of Cryptid. And the one thing that I
Yes.
wanted to ask you about, man, is me and you have went back and forth with this for a year, and I gotta know, after a year of these sightings, brother, what are you thinking about those gargoyle-looking things?
Oh God, man, there's the. I told you, you're talking about man bat. That's a subject that I know plenty about. And the thing
Well, that's
is,
kind of
man,
why I
is
brought it
that
up,
there.
man. That's your forte, And
Yeah.
you
Thing
gotta
is about
remember.
it, though, man, is that.
I
Go ahead.
apologize. I'm sorry. It's that delay that's messing with it.
No, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, you're right, man. I mean, I do know a lot about it. I've done tons of research on it, and it's my forte. I love doing it. I haven't done it in a while though,
Well, let me ask
but
you a question, and this is pretty serious because I've looked at some of the sightings that are Mothman. I've looked at and we all know. Well, I mean, most of us know about that gargoyle sighting outside of NASA in Houston, Texas. What was it, like 20, 30 years ago? And then all of a sudden,
yeah,
we get these things that people see, and there's only one thing, and we talked about this, Grim. If you remember, what is the one common denominator between all these things? Major river system. So what I'm asking you is, do you think that man bat and Mothman, do you think that they are one and the same, or do you think
no,
that, yeah? Okay, well,
no.
can you expound on that a little bit? I mean, what do you think some of the differences in the sightings are that are
Well, the difference in the
documented?
sightings is that the difference between the sightings is that people automatically know Mothman when they see him. There's been plenty of sightings and know what he looks like. Now, I'm going to bring up one of the worst games ever. If you look it up, It's even in, of course, we all know Fallout 76. It's in it.
Now, I've never played
And
it.
you actually go, and you
I've
can
never played it, but
look it up. Look it up and look for Mothman. Type in
oh,
Fallout 76 Mothman. You'll see a picture of what he looks like. And he looks exactly like some of the reports of what they've said about him.
say that one more time, brother.
I said he looks a lot like what the reports of him look like.
All right, but then you
But
take
it's called,
this man bat thing.
he looks completely different. Now, Man-Bat is said to have wings like a bat. The only thing is that the reports say some say he has hair, some say he does not. But they all say that he has wings like a bat and claws like hands like a human but claws. Now, I don't know anything that has to do with a bat that everybody knows a bat has no hands.
And one
Their
thing I want to
hands
throw
are
out
where.
there, I
Go
apologize,
ahead.
Grim. It's that delay thing. If you remember, a buddy of mine's sister, remember when that big mass account happened in Chicago, like right outside of
Yeah, you
Chicago?
told me about
I
that.
told,
Yeah,
yeah. All right. Well, this is what. No, okay. All right. I've known this guy for a good 15 years. We've traveled together. I mean, he's not a bullshitter, and he knows that, like, I'm into things that are like cryptids, that are unexplainable. And he calls me one day, and he says, "Listen, brother." He goes, "Latasha, she seen something last night." I said, "All right, what'd she see?" He said, "Brother, I really don't know how to explain it to you except that it had wings." Yeah, birds have wings. I mean, what the hell? And he goes, "No." He goes, "Have you ever seen the cartoon Gargoyles?" And they're Samoan, and you got to understand something about the Samoan culture. They're very, 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 very proud people. These people, man, um, and I know this family. They are, dude, and they've been around the culture. They don't mess with cannabis. They don't mess with any kind of drug, any sort. This is a very famous family, and I guarantee you that if I drop the name of the most famous relative of this family, because you see this person in movies all the time, um, that everybody in this room has heard of it. Okay, um, this person was with them because they were doing a movie. Uh, well, it wasn't. It was a suburb of Chicago. And Grim, you know what I'm talking about. It was that, that
hmm
last sighting, that last big sighting that happened. You know what I'm
yeah,
talking about. You know who I'm talking about.
hmm
But I'm not gonna say their name publicly. And the reason for that is a lot of people might go, "Oh, this guy's making this up." No, this guy is not making this up. The reason I'm not saying this is this guy is a high standing community of not just the Samoan culture, but of the American culture. And it would be unfair of me to call somebody that is unwilling to talk about their encounter out without talking to them previous. That's why I'm not mentioning their name. It's out of respect. Um,
I understand that.
but Grim knows. that I'm not full of crap. He knows some of the people that I know, and he'll tell you that I'm not full of crap. I actually hate liars.
This is the
I
same
hate
one that
deceit.
you told me that it picked up the car and flipped it, right?
No, that was the story from what was it, the 60s or 70s, where that couple was walking out of that restaurant and it swooped down and it grabbed the car. The lady was trying to get into the car, and it was actually in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Uh, and the lady reached for the door handle, and all of a sudden, in her words, it was like she grabbed the door handle and she was being picked up, holding on to the door handle, and had to let go and drop 2 feet, and the car flipped over. These things,
Ah.
Grim, they go back, these accounts, and seeing this is the crazy thing. And you hear about that Mandela effect, and you're like, "Oh, that's the craziest shit I ever heard of." But then again, a guy that runs around the forest, standing 8 to 12 feet tall in a giant ass ghillie suit's the craziest freaking thing I ever heard of. You know what I mean? So, what is crazy really? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if
But
you think about this, though, man. I mean,
hold on, because I know what these guys are thinking. They're wanting me to get back to this famous feller's
go
encounter.
ahead.
So let me finish this up real quick. It wasn't him that was affected directly because he had went in to pay the check. Um, and they were on the patio and they were kind of laughing, and somebody noticed it's getting dark. That wait, there's a bird diving at us. Why is there a bird diving at us? And everybody turned around, and as this bird is getting closer and closer, they realize that's not a freaking bird. Hold on a minute. I think I got my local Barney Fife behind me, and tonight it just happens to be my cousin. So hold on.
Ah.
No, we're all good. Um, so they're going, why is this bird diving in on me like this? And then they're like, wait a minute, that's not a bird. Is it? Is it? Could maybe? Possibly? No, that is not an angel. Angels don't have gray skin. Well, I don't know. I've never seen an angel, so I mean, anybody that might have, go ahead and type it in there. What color the skin is? But what this dude told me, he goes, brother, you ever seen Gargoyle? And I was like, the cartoon. He goes, yeah, the cartoon. I was like, well, hell, in the '90s and shit, back when I was partying, yeah, I see gargoyles a lot. Now, that was pretty awesome stuff when I was eating my peanut butter crunch. And he goes, brother, I'm telling you, this thing looks just like Goliath. Well, I didn't know who Goliath was, so I had to, like I watched the cartoon, but I wasn't really familiar with the characters. It was just one of those things, like turn the TV on for a baby, goo, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I googled who Goliath was, and then I started looking at other accounts that were kind of coming out of the area, and there were three that were very distinct. One of them had spider wings. The head, the head looked like a gargoyle, all right, but
Mm-hmm.
the upper and lower canines protruded out of the mouth, and it never flapped the wings. It was like it glided on the wings. The other one was that it had the head of a pterodactyl and the body of a man. And
That sounds like an
now,
X-Men character.
I honest to God, There again, Grim will tell you I'm not technologically advanced. I had to have
He's
lessons
horrible with
before I
technology.
got on, and Grim will tell you I had to have lessons before I got on this thing tonight. Like we had to go over how I do this.
Yeah.
um, so I'm not technologically advanced, which is another reason I don't bullshit because I'm a really bad liar. Um,
He is. He laughs when he lies.
yeah, I do. Well, I don't laugh. It's kind of more like a rolling hippopotamus, like rotund. Yeah, you know what I'm
Don't
saying.
even call yourself a hippo, man. You're skinnier than a beanpole. What you talking about?
Oh hell, the way she feeds me, I doubt that, man. Are you kidding? I got fried chicken in there. Well, I got fried. I should say I got fried chicken tenders when I get in there.
Uh,
Oh,
well, I'm
oh
gonna tell you
no.
this though, man.
But hey, real quick though, before you tell me that, I wanted to ask you, which is why I
Yeah,
told you about that last one. Now that the head of the pterodactyl with the body of a man, have you heard of that before?
I've only seen I've seen pictures of something like that, but they were like every other one. They're blurry. But I've heard of an X-Men character that looks just the way you spoke about. Head of a pterodactyl, body of a man. If you don't believe me, you can look him up. But blurry
Now
pictures
this
of just about
now
everything.
now Grim, this is where your audience is gonna go nuts because now how many people we got watching us?
For
Scott from North Carolina, if you're watching us, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts if you don't say howdy. If you don't say howdy, let me know because I'm gonna boot him in the nuts. That's my brother.
okay,
No, it's important. Trust me. Anyway, though, no, I just see that's the thing. It's like I heard this theory one time. It's gonna sound a little crazy, but I heard this theory about Lucifer stealing the DNA code. Right? I already know what you're thinking. Oh God. Now I didn't say I believed it, guys. Okay, I didn't say I believed it. But what you got to understand is this is a round table. We are literally discussing everything in and out of the box. However, if you have pictures of a real cryptid, do not, and I repeat, do not send them to us. We don't want that on our heads. Um, but I know, brother. You know what I'm saying, man. I mean, next thing you know, you got the MIBs kicking your door in, and you're like, uh,
hey,
I'm
I ain't
speaking no
scared of nobody.
English. You know, uh,
I ain't scared of anybody. You know this.
I know. But
That's
what I'm
why I
thinking,
do
man.
face cam.
Well, see, in what I'm thinking is the whole MIB thing, man. Did you ever really think that the MIB could potentially, possibly be not only real, but have been part of our government since 1955?
Man, it's been there longer than that. I would
Oh,
say
so so you know about
50
Eisenhower?
years. Dude, I watched the History Channel for the longest time, man. UFO hunters. Um,
Well, see,
oh
now the
God, I
thing with
watched.
that is you got to remember, man, that's where they're kind of picking and choosing what you see. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
As
but
far as the knowledge you
then
gain.
there's the whole obsessive compulsive disorder of me having Asperger's and me wanting to look everything that I'm interested in.
Oh God, then you're there for hours.
So when I got into UFOs, I did everything I could. I looked at conspiracies.
Have you
God,
seen
when I got
any of the
into
Phil Snyder stuff?
the, believe it or not, that is in a vault in the place where he teached every bit of them, and it's free and open to the public for people, anybody to go look at
Yeah,
all his research.
if you haven't seen any, and I'm gonna tell this is not just for you, Grim, because I mean, I know you can find anything. I mean, and I'm here to tell you guys, if there's a subject you want to know about, it doesn't. You might feel stupid coming to Grim with it, but I promise you, this guy right here, he will never treat you like you're stupid or second class. Neither one of us will. If you've seen
Okay,
something,
Jim.
we really can tell whether or not you've seen something or whether you're trying to bullshit. Nature of
All
the
right,
beast, Graham.
Jim wants to
It is the
know.
nature of the beast.
Jim wants to know about our favorite subject. She wants to know what we think about the Black Eyed Kids. Could they
Hmm.
be real?
I have a story
To
about the
answer
Black
your
Eyed Kids.
question, to answer your question, we'll get to your story. I've read a lot on them.
Well, hey,
I've heard
hey,
everything.
Graham. God, man, I
Yeah,
keep fighting myself not to use your real name.
I
I
know
mean,
it's hard.
with as much as we talk and shit, you know what I mean? All right. Ducky and Jen, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would like add me as friends because I'm sure you guys know how to do that. I'd like to
Oh,
talk to
they're
you
on
guys
the
kind of
Facebook
like
page.
outside of this.
They're on
You know,
they're on a they're on YouTube. They're not my
can they
friends. They're on YouTube.
add me as
They're
friends or
subscribed. They're subscribers. No, they can't do that.
oh
Yeah, but okay, Jen. To get to your question, what about Black Eyed Kids? What do I think about them? It's probably what you're asking.
well, Grim.
As much
After she asks, or is it a he or a she?
she,
All right. Well, I mean, I know
hey,
how gender correct it.
hey,
Oh, a he.
A, D, go to my channel and you can go to where it says live. It'll show us live. It'll have like a little red dot or whatever. Click on it and you can go and chat and you can read everything they put up there. That
Yeah,
might
but
help you out.
if I lose your picture, man, am I gonna lose like the channel?
You don't have to close that out.
All right, man,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think.
try this, dude. But if I,
Oh no, don't worry
dude,
about it. Don't do that. Don't do it. 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 Because knowing you, you might close the window out.
yeah, all right, yeah. See, he knows
I'm not poking
people.
fun at you, but you don't know that phone.
He knows I'm technologically retarded, and I ain't saying
Hey, I'm
that
not
to
calling
slang or
you
to be
anything like
stupid.
that,
I mean,
man.
I'm pretty
I
dumb.
don't call people names. I don't call people names. You know this.
Oh, I know you
As
don't
long as
call
you
people
know me.
names, man. I just call them how I see them, and that's what I am. I'm technologically retarded.
But
Uh,
what Jen said, what about the Black Eyes Kids? That's what she said.
okay,
And to answer your question, let me go ahead. I'll finish what I'm gonna say, and then you can tell the whole story without interruption. Okay?
yeah, it's not really even a story, but
Yeah. Well, you can tell it. Let me
shit,
finish,
brother,
and I'll tell that.
you're the expert
All right.
here,
What I
man.
think
You go
about
ahead.
what I think about Black Eyed Kids is that they are real, but there's been speculation to whether they're demons or aliens. Now, why do I say this? Why do I say aliens? A lot of people are gonna say, "Why do you say aliens?" No, there's some spirit or something. A lot of people say that, but from my research, the Greys have been known to combine our DNA with their DNA. They're known to do that. And technology has advanced since the 60s, since Area 51. And I'm pretty sure their technology is far more advanced than ours. Now, there have been reports to where blackhead kids have made people physically ill after seeing them, after talking to them. They have made these people
Yeah,
physically ill, and some
you're
have
spot
died.
on, son.
So, what I think that is I think these things are incomplete.
They
They
have no
make
soul.
people, they mess with people. They have no. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, they have a psychic ability to make people believe that they are children. As when you look at them, you will see them as children. But the reason being is that when you think something is a child, a demon does the same thing. They make you think they're a child.
Well, let me ask you this,
Okay.
man. I mean,
Hold
do
on,
you
hold on,
think?
hold on. Let me finish.
I apologize. I am so sorry. Go ahead, boss.
It's fine. From one of the reports I've read, the woman had talked to let the children in because they said they were going to wait for their parents. Now, I believe our government has something to do with this because of one reason. I'll let you know. They waited, and her husband talked with the kids. They would repeat the same thing. So you're thinking, okay, well, the thing is that the mirrors broke in the house. One of the first things broke in the house was a mirror. They have reflections, but if you look
They
at
do or do
something,
not have reflection.
they have reflections. They have reflections. If you look at the mirror, you would probably see something different than what you see. A demon can make you believe as a child because it can take the form of a child. These things look completely different in a mirror, considering to one report, only one report. It looked completely different. They didn't describe it, but it looked completely different. Now, if you think about it, why do I say the government's involved? Well, a different encounter where I said the woman got sick and the husband got sick, physically ill. I believe it is because they can make you physically ill by messing with your mind. They stayed around them longer, but the longer you stay around these things, I think the more they can mess with your head. And we all know if your brain thinks you're sick, you can make the brain think you're sick. You
Well,
can become physically ill. And
well,
by that point, why do I believe that the government has something to do with it? Because when the parents pulled up, they were all dressed in black, suit and tie and all. And they pulled up in a black vehicle.
now that's creepy. That's the first time I've ever heard about the parents of black-eyed kids rolling up for them. That's creepy as shit.
Yeah,
Uh, I,
that is
I mean,
considered one report. That is only one report.
wow.
The others were completely different. I believe I did a video on that report a year or so back, maybe longer. But I remember that one because it creeped me out so much.
I'd have to send the wife back through your archives to find out. Um, and that's the one good thing about Grimm, guys, is that you when you get the Grimm report, you're not getting like a fucking 20-minute you know sermon on one thing. I mean, Grimm kind of gets in there and he's like, "Well, this is what I just heard about." Pow, and he's out. It's kind of it's one of them thinkers for the day. while you're at work. I happen to work in plastics, so I think about crazy shit all day long. It takes a special breed of person to work in a factory. Um,
Yeah.
but no,
Well,
real quick,
Duck.
the uh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
the black-eyed kid story I had. Uh, Grim, I know you're watching the
Tell
chat, and this is like when I miss my wife. I mean, my wife is in the
it.
chat. I mean, she's very close. She's listening. If I asked for anything, I guarantee you I would have it.
Mm-hmm.
My wife, and real quick, just to give my wife a shout out. My wife is absolutely wonderful. And I'm not in the doghouse for anything, man. I'm just giving my wife a shout out because she, oh, excuse me, is who she is. Um, she gets the baby down at 2 o'clock in the morning, and she's back up with me at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Making my breakfast. Making sure I'm taken care of for the day. Um, she deals with, and my wife's a cat person. She is not a dog person at all. But dude, she
Oh
walks
no.
my dogs for me, man. I mean, she does it all. She does my dishes. She does my laundry. My wife is absolutely wonderful. And I want to tell you something, gentlemen. If you're married to a wonderful woman, you need to let her know. That's the key to a successful marriage is you always let your woman know when you love them. And
You okay? Enough of marriage counseling.
no.
We
I'm,
got a
I'm getting
show.
back. I'm getting back to the subject at hand here. I'm giving my old lady a shout out because she's wonderful. And hey Jen, I love you. Uh, but now, hey man, the big thing is what I wanted to tell you, and it's not really a big thing, but it's a small thing. All right. I don't know how many people we got in the chat right now. Grim?
4. We still have 4.
4. Is that little bastard in North Carolina
We
named
yeah
Scott still listening?
yeah. I'm here.
All right. Well, anyway, man. All right. This is the Black Eyed Kids thing, man. Y'all remember Hurricane Katrina? It was literally. I don't just think it was just a natural disaster. I think it was an engineered disaster, and I'm not alone in my thinking. On that one. And uh, all I want to tell you guys is if you want to know, and just to get like a small glimpse of the horror that was happening around the area around Hurricane Katrina, Dark Waters has one story, or I should say one. It's not necessarily a story; it's one charade, really, like where it's a mixture of Katrina stories. And that's all you'll ever find. Because the people that experience that, they ain't ever going to talk about it. It's not going to happen. But I would recommend that you would go listen to that. Because what I'm getting ready to tell you guys, I just want to let y'all know that I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to, because I've been told that this particular story, I mean, it's not really a story. It really happened. Um, but from my standpoint, it's a story because I wasn't where the guy was when he seen what happened. So, I mean, like I was there on the porch when it happened, but I was also, playing Snake on my phone, and we're talking like early '90s Virgin Mobile. I'm playing Snake. Don't give two shits about anything else around. And So basically, a good friend of mine that I went to high school with fell in love with a really wonderful guy. They're still married, and he is a wonderful guy. Kind of looks like Patrick Dempsey, man. Like, the chick's doing a howl over him all the time. It's crazy. And that's how she knows she lucked out. It makes me feel like shit because, back in the day, they used to on over me, but then I got ugly. All right, that was to make y'all laugh. Now to get to the meat of the story. Okay. So Katrina happens, and for the sake of the story, I'm going to change his name, and we're going to call him Chris. You know, my friend, Betty's getting ready to move in there, the whole 9 yards. I've got a lot of experience in home improvements, remodeling, and construction. And so I get down there and we start ripping old drywall out, putting new drywall in, and and he's a youth pastor, and he's like, it's not that he's not used to working hard for a living, but he's just not used to manual labor. Okay, and he's like, man, how much more of this do we got to do? I was like, what, like for this room? And he goes, no, like for the house. And I was like, yeah. 2 weeks. He goes, you're serious. And I was like, yeah, I'm dead serious. And he's like, can you do this every day? And I was like, yeah. I mean, what I get paid to do, what I do. And he's like, man, you make it look so easy. He goes, dude, can we take a break, man? And I was like, well, it's your house. You're the one paying me. And we can do whatever you want to do. And he's like, yeah, man, let's go outside. All right, we go outside, and I open my phone up, I text my ex-wife, check on the kids. And back in those days when you sent a text, it was like it went over, like the telegraph. Like, Morse code kind of shit. You'd have to wait for it to come back. It'd take up 20 minutes sometimes. And this guy's coming down the street and just crying and wailing his ass off. I mean, this guy's just crying. Like, I mean, you would have think that he not only did he lose the house, man, he lost the old lady, he lost the kids, and he lost the dog and cat too along the way. I mean, he's crying that hard. I looked up at him, and he was an African American feller. He was in a blue long sleeve shirt with kind of looked like bleach wash blue jeans, if you remember what those look like, and a blue baseball hat.
Oh, I do.
And Chris is a pastor. We're just calling him that for his name's sake. And so, he's like, man, this guy's displaced. He might just need a shoulder. He might, like a meal, something. Whatever we can do. He gets over there, and this guy's hands are covering his eyes. And, and Chris walks up, in the name of Jesus, how can I help you? And the next thing I know, I'm hearing, I rebuke you, Satan. I rebuke you. I rebuke you. And I'm reaching behind me because, like this guy's following him across the street. I'm pulling my 9 and I'm walking down the stairs and I'm in the position. And for a lot of you guys that carry, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't, that means that I'm inching. My finger is along the trigger. I'm in the go position to where if I have to shoot, my hands are squared up, my elbows are squared. It's going to be a center mass shot, pop, pop, pop. And it's not going to be pop, 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 actually. I'm going to empty that clip all the way to the ground. I mean, because the cops are going to show up and you're going to be charged either way. So, I mean, you might as well make sure that he's not going to get back up and cause you any more shit. So, as I'm coming across, I grabbed Chris by his right shoulder. I shoved him to the ground, I come up with the gun and I said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And when I said that, and I kid you guys not, whatever this was just stopped. Like instantly. Like this thing is running full speed and just picture, Dale Earnhardt at 228 miles an hour stopping on a NASCAR track. And I don't know if it was, I said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I don't know if it was the gun. I don't know what it was. But all that I know is that if it would have took one more step, I would have shot it. And as it looked up, and I've got my gun, and at this point, the gun, as it's at the chin. And the reason I say the chin and not the head is because if you shoot the mouth, basically, everything's all done. You're cutting the spinal cord, everything. It's all done. And this thing looked up at me. And y'all don't even understand what black-eyed is, man. You hear these stories and you're like, oh, yeah, it had no people. No. Like, the eyes, like where your eyeballs are all the way around. There's no white anywhere. It's pure black. It's blacker. It's blacker than the deepest, darkest night you've ever saw. It's blacker than that. And that's true. And when I seen those eyes, I realized we might be in some trouble. And what I say we were calling him Chris, right? Chris?
Mm-hmm.
He got up and he said, no evil's going to touch you, brother. And he just grabbed me and just started tugging me up the stairs. And this thing was literally froze where it was at. And the creepy thing is you ever seen the Thriller video where Michael Jackson goes up on his tiptoes? Like,
Yeah.
it's like inhuman. That's what this thing did. It stayed there for about 10 minutes. We watched it out the window. And, and I'm just saying, I got the gun. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, take one more step. That's what I'm thinking. And Chris is walking around, blessing the house. I said Chris, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Chris is walking around, blessing the house, like the whole 9 yards. Calls, the mutual female friend that we have, Betty. That's not a real name. But she gets her parents praying, and she's praying, and, the next thing I know is there is literally this piece from where we're at the back of the house that started washing over. And I didn't see it. Okay, I did not see it. I'm just telling you guys what was told to me. And this thing got really uneasy and started pacing. And then it crossed the street and started pacing. And then it walked a block down and started pacing. And then it was 2 blocks down. And then all of a sudden you couldn't even see it. But I'm here to tell you, that those black-eyed people, I don't know what they are. I got no idea. Except evil. Your embodiment of evil is them. I mean, Yeah, I mean, but that's my black-eyed kid story, and that happened on Renard Street in Biloxi, Mississippi.
That is true creepy. We're going to finish it up here in a bit because it's almost 11 o'clock. We've been on here
We'll
about,
go
what,
as
an
long
hour?
as you want to go, brother.
Well, I've got to hit the bed pretty soon. But, yeah. Wow. It's starting out to be, wow.
Well,
Like I
now,
said, when,
hold on 1 second now. I didn't get to ask you the one question I've been wanting to ask you for years in the live chat.
what's that?
Actually, I got two. And before anybody wonders if I'm eating like chips or anything, no, they're Tums. My wife's listening, and she brought them to me. And if I don't eat them, and they're still here in the truck in the morning, I'm a dead man because she knew I was having stomach issues. Um, Now we talked about Sasquatch. We
Yeah.
talked about the black-eyed kids. We talked about the man bat
Mm-hmm. And Mothman a little bit.
and Mothman. Just we touched on it. But I want to know, man, what do you think, Dogman?
Yeah. Talked about a lot of them.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I got you. So what do you think Dogman is?
What do I think Dogman is? Well, for one, there have been sightings of him since, these Native American sightings of him, you know?
Oh yeah, BC, man, BC.
So there's been plenty of sightings of him.
Yeah, but what do you think it is, man? I mean, do you think it's terrestrial, extraterrestrial? I mean, like what?
No, 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 no. What I believe he is that he's a guardian. It's pardon me if my lights went out. My lights went out. Not in my apartment, but the one that I stand next to, I have an issue with extension. But what I believe he is that I believe he's a form of a shapeshifter. These
All
things
right.
act like humans, walk like humans, but they have a pack mentality, like a wolf or any other dog. The reason why they call him dog men instead of wolf men is because of the way their face looks. But the thing
All right.
is
Well,
that it's
now,
more of a
now, Graham,
conceit.
hold on a minute. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but now you got to remember, man. Now we can take this to the Bible, and
Yeah, we could.
you got to remember, man. Now we're talking about lion men. We're talking about, and I know a lot of people are going to go, "Holy hell, you just ripped that off Dark Waters." First off, I wouldn't rip anything off of Dark Waters.
Well, I'm
And
going to
there's,
tell you this though. If you want to go into the Bible,
I'm talking about the
it,
linemen. Was it the linemen of Judah? It wasn't Judah. Was it Judah?
yeah, Lion of Judah.
Okay.
No, you want to go to the Bible? Let's talk about um, the king of Babylon. You know who I'm talking about?
Give me
God
a
made him
name.
eat the grass like a cow. He had to wear fur on his back. Hair grew on his
Oh,
back wildly. You know what
are
I'm
you
talking
talking about
about?
Gilgamesh?
No, no, I'm
No,
talking
not Gilgamesh.
about the king of Babylon, David. Not David,
Oh,
but
you're
the
talking
king of
about
Babylon.
King David. Yeah,
No,
he's
I'm talking about
his
David.
men. His men,
No,
I believe, wasn't his
no,
men.
no. Hey, listen to me. I'm not talking about King David. I'm talking about the king of Babylon.
It's been a minute, bro. Uh, well, just give me the name,
He
man.
was made. I don't remember his name, but I will tell you this.
Oh, we're
He
both
was
fucked. Okay.
no, no, we're not. I'm pretty sure someone remembers his name. Um, he was made to wear fur, hair. He grew hair on his body like an animal. He ate grass like a cow. He was made to think and live like an animal. Now, if you want to talk about dogmen or werewolves, think about King Lycan, the first werewolf.
Now wait a
That's where
minute. Now
Lycan came.
the one thing I gotta ask though is his existence ever really been proven?
Who? King Lycan? Lycan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been proven. It has been proven. There's drawings of him, sketches of him, I'm sure.
Well, see what's weird about that is you say king, and if you look at Revelations, it even talks about the 10 kings that will be handed kingdoms that are without kingdoms. Which brings me to my next question, bro. Do you know about the status chambers or stasis chambers? Sorry, stasis.
The ones that are in Area 51 are the ones that are in Area 52.
Oh no, these are all around the world, and they found 22 of them.
Oh yeah, they hold supposedly DNA of every person on the earth.
No,
They
no, no,
supposedly
no, no.
hold DNA. I mean, things
Okay,
from
like what you basically see is you remember the Cinderella, like when the short people, the little people,
dwarves.
like whatever they're called. Yeah,
Dwarves.
that's it, man. That's it. Yeah, and they put her in that glass casket, right?
That's
Now,
Sleeping Beauty.
okay, whatever, man. I mean, and I got daughters. I should know this, but I just never really gave a shit. I love my daughters. Don't get me wrong. I'd do anything in the world for them.
Yeah.
But as far as Disney movies go, fucking. Um, but no, man, these things they're kind of like that. All right, and I will. Here's what I'm gonna do. I will have you video by 4 p.m. tomorrow on Saturday. Is tomorrow? Wait, tomorrow's Friday the 1st, right? First or 31st?
No, 31st.
31st. All right. So tomorrow,
Yeah.
May 31st, 2019, I think. I don't know. It's been
Mm-hmm.
a minute since I've had to check into a year, but what I'll do is I'm going to give you a link, and if you don't mind putting that link up, and this is going to show a video, and you're going to look at this guy and go, "That's like the best corpse I've ever seen," and then you're going to stop, and you're going to realize that this corpse is breathing.
That's
And
interesting.
it is. Oh, I've got strawberry cookies. Awesome. Have one with me.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one more thing. I'm gonna answer somebody's question, and
Yeah, if you guys got questions, whatever,
we're
throw
gonna
them
have a
out
question.
there.
Hey, Lisa, if you guys have a question, that's funny. He prefers the ones for Twilight Zone. If
What do
y'all
you
have
say?
a question, um, Duck said I prefer the ones from the Twilight Zone. I
Me too.
think he's speaking about the Black Eyed Kids. Um, but you guys can ask questions to either one of us, and I'm going to let you guys have a little bit to think about that while we speak on something. Now, we are possibly going to have multiple guests. We're not sure how many guests we're going to have, but I only want to do a show And he agrees with me. We're only going to do a show when we have a guest. We're only going to do a live show when we have a guest. That way we can give you guys quality entertainment. I
And
know this
guys,
is funny.
tonight
This
we
is his
were
first
honest
day
to
back.
God. We honest to God thought we had a guest, and 30 minutes before we went live, something came up, and and this guy is a personal friend of mine. He is really battling cancer, and they asked if we could give them a few days to kind of make sure everything's going good and kosher and everything like that, and then they'll come back, and so we might actually give you guys two shows, maybe. But it all depends on Grimm's schedule. I mean, the stars got to align. But we want to do it, and I'm telling you right now, me and Grimm have been friends outside of this for what, going on 2 years now, right? Something like that. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
close.
Something like that,
And
yeah.
I'm telling you, man, Grimm heard this guy, and he heard the what you heard the first. Well, you actually heard part of the first story. I don't even think he got through the whole of it.
No,
But
he was on take your friend to the hospital.
yeah,
But he did
and
he if it wasn't for that, he was all gung ho for it. He says he wants to tell his story. It's about time, is what he said. It's about time I get to tell this story. What he said, right?
folks, I promise you, um, you know, what we haven't said is that I'm gonna be starting my own channel, and um, when I do that, Grim is coming with me. Uh, he'll still be Grim
Don't get me
Soul
wrong.
Digger.
Yes, I will still be doing on my own channel. I'm just
Yep,
gonna help him out on his.
and vice versa. He's gonna be my co-host. I'm gonna be his co-host, and the fact is we're friends, and in all honesty, we're in it for the love of the paranormal. He's got
Exactly.
he's got his style of doing things. I adapt to that. I got my style of doing things. He adapts to that, and it's just it's what we do. But the one thing here, guys, is with this story, I promise you, you're not gonna get this on Sasquatch Chronicles and Wes Germer. And I subscribe to Wes Germer, for God's sakes. I mean, if you want some of the honest to God best stories, best research, best learning, Wes Germer, Sasquatch Chronicles, that's where you need to go. On this channel, we're like y'all. We're trying to learn. We're trying to understand. You know, and when we bring a guest on,
Now there is hope.
you're not getting somebody. Go ahead, Grim. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now there is hope that we might be having somebody that you know who I'm talking about. You've been trying to get in contact with him.
Oh Lord, if he just answers.
Now there is talks we might get him here, and now when that happens, you guys will be let know because this guy is very popular in the paranormal and cryptid
We will
community.
promote it. We will promote it at least a week out before it happens.
Yeah, and this guy has said on his show that he's willing to do any interview with no matter how low you are. If you're trying to grow your channel, he will be there.
And folks, I just
Now,
want to say that um, this guy is probably, as far as YouTubers go in the paranormal field, um, he don't report the norm. He reports what he's told. I mean, even if it don't make sense to what you're used to hearing, it was in a report. He believed it enough that he wrote it. He believes it enough that he's talking about it, and he'll follow through on it. He is, and Grim, I think you'd agree with this, that he is probably, as far as YouTubers go right now, I would say, and he just even started, but I would dare say that he is going to be at the top of the game by the end of the year. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I've seen one of his shows. Now, take what you will from me. This man is humble,
Very.
but he has had Dick Kunda on the show that I heard.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
you
he's had
guys
great
all
calls.
know who he is. He's one of the top dogs of paranormal, coast to coast. He had him on the air, coast to coast himself.
Well, and you know, man, I just want to say too, as far as Vic or anybody like that goes, you know, I mean, Vic Cundiff is actually one of the guys that kind of started it all. You know, he's one of the reasons why you're here, I'm here. You got
Yeah,
guys like Britton Son. Oh my God, dude! If I could just get Britton Son to email me back, for God's sake. But the point is, man, is that you know we all are here for a reason,
yeah, we are.
and I think Grim will more than anybody back me up, dude. We just want the answers to what the hell is going on. What is it that we are seeing? Because if a million people are reporting seeing a man like ape walking through the forest, I mean, hey, either there's a million people doing LSD, or a million people are seeing a man like monkey creature walking through the forest.
Yeah. The thing is that I don't think he'll ever be on my show again because the fallout we had. The person I always wanted to do an interview with was DW. I'll never see that though.
Hey man, you can't ever say ever, and I gotta tell you, Dark Waters. My experience with him, he's a really good guy. Uh, in all honesty, I really don't got a bad word to say about him, and I mean, if I did, brother, I'd speak it. But dude,
Yeah.
he's a pretty good dude. I mean,
He's a hard
I
dude
know,
though.
and
He's a
this
hard
is the thing. When you give Dark Waters a story, and so he can tell it, and so that way, he's not, you don't go back after him and try to sue him for telling your story later. He copyrights your shit, and you got to understand, it's not for a selfish reason, but you get those crazy assholes that are like, well, that's my story, and you didn't tell it the way I wanted you to, and blah 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 blah. And now we're gonna sue. So it's not like he's like doing it to rip your shit off. That's not what it is, man.
no.
He's
He
kind
makes
of doing it.
money off of it.
Well,
There's good
I mean,
business. He's a
it's not
business.
just that, and it's not that he's making a lot of money off of it, but I
No.
mean, if you've got a paranormal story and you're telling it, well, do you got a website? Do you got a platform? No, you don't. So who do you go to? Dark Waters. And like I said, I mean, um, when me and DW talked, I mean, I got some information on some stories that he has never released, and I will never talk about because I gave him my word, and
Yeah.
that's just how it is. But Dark Waters, I'm here to tell you what, man. If you've had an encounter, and if you can't get a hold of me or Grim, because we're too busy trying to look pretty or get our beauty rest or whatever it is. Yeah, man. He'll treat you okay. You'll be fine. Um, I wouldn't expect, like him to make you pancakes or anything the next day. But the dude, he will call you back, and he'll make sure that you're okay after you relive the shit you told me. And he'll do that a few times. You know, um, Dark Waters ain't heartless. I mean, he's a pretty thoughtful
No, he's
guy.
not. He's not.
He's a pretty
Oh yeah,
thoughtful
he is.
guy.
He is. But
And
I'm going to tell you this though. If I'm going to throw this out there. Now, you guys all know who the first person I ever interviewed. I interviewed him on his own show.
are you
I
talking about
interviewed. I
Double
was
D?
his. I'm talking about, yeah. I was the only
Okay, all
person
right,
ever to
go ahead.
interview him. Yeah, y'all all know what happened to that. Now, the guy that D here wants to get on the show is friends with Double D.
Well, now see,
I
here's
had
the
my
thing,
concerns about
brother.
that
Um,
because what happened between me,
I
LaKayla, and him.
well, you gotta understand, man. It's not that I'm trying to be politically correct in what I say. All right. As far as Lakay and all that went, first and foremost, um, I've had the pleasure of talking to Lakay quite a few times. Um, absolutely wonderful.
Oh
As a
yeah,
matter of
she's a
fact,
wonderful person.
oh, dude, completely a beautiful person, inside and out. Um, I never got the chance to talk to Vault. I've heard that
He's a nice guy too.
I've heard he's very approachable. Um,
Yeah, he is. Despite the way his demeanor is, he is very
yeah,
approachable.
he's very approachable. A really kind-hearted guy. Um, if he can help you, he'll help you.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta understand the reason that I got the balls to be on your show right now is because of those people. You know, and the reason you got the balls to do a show is because of those people. We're both
Yeah.
thankful
You
for
know,
them. And
I wouldn't
no,
have ever
no,
got started if it wasn't for them.
right.
If it wasn't.
And the only thing that we really want to do is just find the answers. Like, you know, what is Bigfoot really? I mean, like, let's cut down to the DNA. Let's get down to that shit. Can you explain to me why when you run a Sasquatch's DNA, why we're not only pulling fucking primate, why we're not only pulling canine, why are we pulling chloroform? Why are we pulling plant matter off a primate? It's that kind of shit that I'm trying to get down. I want to know
Yeah.
not necessarily why you're here or why you exist, but I want to know, okay, if we if we are able to have animals that have this technological DNA, if you will, and we have, or I should say, they have these these rapid healing processes. See, we don't even know what all they can do. I don't know if y'all can hear it. I got coyotes yipping behind me, dude, and I'm in town. uh, we've got over 1,000 coyotes, and I've got the mayor going this next Tuesday to when they have their monthly meeting about listing that coyote band in town, and then I can start. And I'm not doing it to necessarily endanger a population.
We need to,
I'm doing it to
yeah. Well, we need to wrap this up. We need to
yes,
wrap this
sir,
up
we
because
sure do. Because Evan, or baby, what's up? I apologize, y'all. My wife stepped out. Yeah, I'm getting a nod. Grimmy, I'm
all
gonna
right,
call
man.
you. Hey, Grimmy, I'm gonna call you in about 10 minutes. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
All right, and y'all, you have a great night. I had a wonderful evening with y'all. And Ducky, dude, get your balls out of your friggin' throat and come on the show. Good God, man. All right, Grim, love you, buddy. Bye, y'all.
Well, y'all heard him. It's about time I wrap this up. About time I wrap this up. I know there's a delay, so that's why I'm saying it more than once. I'm gonna wish y'all what I usually do. Letting the video catch up. Night, y'all. Good luck. Good night. God bless.